Hey everybody, it's time for a game of Statis Pro Baseball. I'm trying to knock out the requests that were made on my video about seasons that I have and suggestions of games to play. And Terry P. asked about Rod Carew in his year that he hit 388 in 1977. Have him go against Nolan Ryan of the California Angels. So that's what we've got here for Statis Pro. Got the 1977 Minnesota Twins at the California 1977 Angels. This is a replay of the actual game played on May 19th, 1977 with the actual as-played lineups. So we'll get going here in just a minute and get this one underway. All right, the cards can be a little sticky, so to do the lineups, I figured it was a lot easier just to run down the score sheet for the lineups. Leading off for Minnesota is catcher Butch Wynegar. That's correct. You heard it right. Butch Wynegar, a catcher, is leading off for Minnesota. That's the way it was done back in 1977 for the Twins. So he will lead off and catch. Roy Smalley will play shortstop and bat second. Rod Carew is batting third, and he plays first base. Lyman Bostock, who was tragically killed later that season, or it might have been 78. I think it was 77, though. He is in center field. Larry Heisel is the left fielder. Rich Childs is the designated hitter, hitting sixth. Mike Cubbage is at third base. He will bat seventh. Disco Dan Ford is the right fielder, and he will hit eighth. Rob Wilfong is the second baseman, batting ninth. And the pitcher is Dave Galtz, our right-hander. For the Angels, Gil Flores will lead off in center field. Jerry Remy will bat second and play second base. Tony Salida is the designated hitter. He will hit third. Joe Rudi is in left field. He will bat cleanup. Bobby Bonds patrols right field, and he will hit fifth. Dave Chalk at third base will hit sixth. Willie Aikens, later called himself Willie Mays Aikens, is at first base, and he will hit seventh. Bobby Grich, longtime second baseman, is playing short this year. He will hit eighth. And the catcher is Terry Humphrey, and he will bat ninth. And on the mound, Nolan Ryan. So let's meet our starting pitchers. Nolan Ryan is a PB 2-8 versus left-handed batters and PB 2-9 versus right-handed batters. His SR rating is a 17, so I've got him up here on the 17. And Dave Galtz is a unusual 4-7 versus lefties for his PB rating, and 2-7 versus righties. His SR rating is a 16, and that's where he's at right there. On the season, Galtz was a 20-game winner, 20-11 with a 3.36 ERA, and Nolan Ryan was a 19-game winner with a 2.77 ERA, and obviously he lost 16 games, a lot of that due to lack of run support by his teammates. All right, with those festivities out of the way, we are ready to go. This, of course, is Statis Pro Baseball. And there's been enough videos, I think, out there on it for anybody that hasn't seen how it's played. You can go back and check another video so I can go ahead and just start playing this as if everyone knows how the game is played. All right, so leading off will be Butch Wynegar, the catcher, and he will lead off against Nolan Ryan. He is a switch hitter batting left this at bat. Nolan Ryan's PB rating on a left-handed batter is 2-8, so we'll see what the first fast action card flip result shows. It's a 6. So the 6 means that we're going off of Nolan Ryan. And the next flip is a 66. If we go over here to 66, 66 is actually going to be a walk. 47 to 66 for Nolan Ryan versus left-handed batters is a walk. So Nolan Ryan did walk a lot of batters as well as strike out a lot of batters. So that is a walk. That walk will move Ryan down to a 16 on his reduction rating. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Roy Smalley, another switch hitter batting left against Ryan. And the first flip is a 7, so we're under Ryan again. And the next flip is a 73. This time, 73 is in the out range. Roy Smalley is a left-hand normal hitter, or in this case, a switch normal hitter. But he's batting left, so he's really a switch normal. But in this case, everybody grounds to third with an asterisk. Ground ball to third with an asterisk. The asterisk means we check for an error. This says an error is made by anybody with a 6 to 10 error range. Well, For the Angels, Dave Chalk. If we look at Dave Chalk and his error range, or his error rating, error range, he is an E5. E5. So he just made it. 6 to 10 would have been an error, but his range only goes to 5, so he made the play. And it's a G5, so to figure out, base running and so forth, you go to the chart, and the chart is with a man on first base, because that's the situation we had, was a runner on first. So we go to the runner on first chart. The infield is at double play depth, and it's a G5. Infield back, it's a double play. Batter out. Batter and runner on first out. OBRA is safe at first. So if Roy Smalley had been an OBRA, he would have beat that out, but he's only an OBRC, which talks about his running ability. So since he was not our OBRA, that result will stand, and that's going to be a 5-4-3 double play to help Nolan Ryan in this inning. So now he's down to 2 outs and the base is empty to deal with Rod Carew. So here's the at-bat, the iconic at-bat of the ball game. It's Rod Carew facing Nolan Ryan. It's a 6, so we are under Ryan. The next flip's a 22. 6 and a 22 is a strikeout. So Nolan Ryan puts the K on Rod Carew. He fooled him on that one. And there's nothing doing for the Twins here in the first. So we go to the bottom of the first, score Minnesota nothing, and the Twins, and the Angels coming to bat. And Dave Galtz is on the mound, the righty. He is an SR 16. Again, he's a PB 4 to 7 versus lefties and 2 to 7 versus righties. He's going to face Gil Flores to start things off, who is a right-handed normal batter. So his PB range in this at-bat is 2 to 7. Flips a 7, so we're under Galtz. And the next flip is a 14. Galtz 14 against a right-handed pitcher or right-handed batter is a single to left field. So it's a single to left field by Flores. And since that was off the pitcher's card, we do not have to check for an error, but we will reduce Galtz down to a 15. And that'll bring up Jerry Remy. Now, Jerry Remy is a double-A sacrifice bunter, so he's gonna come up to sacrifice. So we'll go ahead and flip the PB or the card to get a random number. Random number is 37. So we go up to our sacrifice chart that we have here. Double-A and a 37. 37 right here, 28 to 37. Batter out, first to pitcher covering, runners advance, sacrifice. So he just did make a good sacrifice there. And it was out, first to pitcher covering. So the sacrifice hit goes 3 to 1. Kind of unusual sacrifice, but gets the job done. Does move Flores to second base, where he's in scoring position with 1 out. And that'll bring up Tony Salaita. Tony Salaita. The card had an error in it. It should be Soliata. There was so it looks like it's pronounced Salida, but it's really spelled and pronounced Salaita. There should be an A between the L and the I. So if I can get these cards apart, we'll get Tony Salaita's at bat. It's an 8. An 8 goes out of the range of Galtz. He only goes up to a 7, so this is off of Salaita's card. It's a 66, so Salida 66 against a right-hander is actually a walk. So Salida draws a walk. Put runners at first and second. We'll move Galtz down 1 more notch due to that walk. And that brings up Joe Rudi, the left fielder, former Oakland A. And Rudi, if I can get the card here, Rudi an 8. An 8. So again, we're off of Rudi's card. And it's a 76. So 76 is well in the out range. Rudi is a right-handed power hitter. Ground ball G1 with an asterisk, so it's a ground ball back to Galtz, but we do need to check for an error. There is no error. A G1 with a man on first. Double play. Again, unless the batter is an OBR-A. Rudi is an OBR-B, so he just missed it. So it's a 1. We'll call it 1-6-3 double play to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Angels in the first. We've played 1 complete, and we're scoreless. Top of the second, and Lyman Bostock is up. I think I erroneously said he was killed in the 77 season. I think it was more like 78 or 79 that he was killed. But he was a good player back in 77 for sure for the Twins. So he's going to come up. He's a left-handed hitter against Ryan. We'll check the PB result. It's a 10, so that means we're under Bostock's card. Lyman Bostock gets his card, a bat off his own card here. It's a 16, so Lyman Bostock, a 16, is a single to left field. And with that result off the hitter card, we check for an error on the left fielder, Rudi. The flip is 4 to 10. So if Rudi has an error rating of 4 to 10, he will make an error. We will check Rudi's error rating. Error rating for Rudi is a 0. So apparently he didn't make any errors back then. So no error to worry about. It's simply going to be a single. But we will reduce Ryan down to a 15 thanks to that base hit. And Bostock has himself a leadoff single. That'll bring up power hitting left fielder Larry Heisel. Larry Heisel, it's an 8, but that's under Ryan because he's PB 2 to 9 against the right-handers. So we are under Ryan's card for the next flip. It's a 75. That's in the out range. Heisel is a right-handed power hitter with the runner on first. G5 asterisk, we've had that before. That's a double play if there's no error. Check for an error on chalk. There is none, so it is a 5-4-3 double play. Don't have to check the charts because we've just looked at it last inning. So the double play clears the bases. Again, that's 2 double plays that Ryan has induced. And oddly enough, has only struck out 1 batter so far. He was not known as a double play machine. He usually got strikeouts and flyouts. Here's Rich Childs, the designated hitter. It's a 7, which means we're under Ryan. And the flip for Ryan, these little fast action cards do stick together. The flip's a 62. 62 against a lefty is another walk. So it's a walk for Childs. Walk number 2 for Ryan. And that brings up the third baseman, Mike Cubbage, another lefty. Oh, and we do move Ryan down to a 14. All right, here is Cubbage. It's a clutch defensive check. Let's see who the clutch defensive check is going to be on. It's on the right fielder, Bobby Bonds. Bobby Bonds, his clutch defensive rating is a 4. He's a CD 4. So we'll go to our CD chart. Our CD table, I should say. Clutch defense 4. And we're going to check on a random number to see what happens. If it's a 43 or above, it is no play. Anything less than a 43, and we've got a clutch defensive play. The random number is a 43 right on the dot. So that means no action occurs. Resume normal play. All right, so Cubbage steps in again. It's an 8, so we're still under Ryan. It's an 83. That is an out. And Cubbage is left-handed normal, which is a pop-up to the first baseman. So Cubbage pops it up to Aikens to end the inning. Nothing doing for the Twins in the second. We go to the bottom of the second, still no score. And leading off will be Bobby Bonds against Dave Goltz. Bonds, a 7, which is under Goltz. And a 71. 71 for Goltz is in the out range. Bonds is a right-handed power hitter, which means he flies to deep left field for out number 1. So Bonds is retired. This is all difficult with one hand, trust me. Maybe one of these days I'll get something to help me out, but right now I don't, so do with what I have. All right, Dave Chalk, the batter. Dave Chalk flips a 3. That is under Goltz. It's an 81. 81 is definitely in the out range. And Chalk is a right-handed normal batter. Right-handed normal batter ground to first with an asterisk. We'll check Goltz out with his E. He's an E7. So let's make sure he did not make an error if I can get the cards apart here. Yeah, lick my fingers maybe. All right, it's none on the error, so it's simply a 1-3 ground out. 2 down. And that'll bring up Willie Aikens. First baseman, left-handed hitter. It's a 3. Now, remember, Goltz only went 4 to 7, so 3 is outside of his range, so we are under Aikens' card. Aikens, an 81. 81 against a right-hander is in the out range. He's a left-handed normal power hitter, which is a ground ball to short with an asterisk. So we check to see if Roy Smalley made an error. He did not. It's a 6-3 ground out. And the inning's over. So after 2 complete from California, we are scoreless. All right, so Disco Dan Ford will lead things off here in the top of the third. Flips a 6, so we are under Ryan. It's a 63. 63 says wild pitch question mark, but nobody's on base, so we reboot. Try it again. A 10. This time it's under Ford. And the flip's a 13, so Ford's going to get himself a base hit to left field. So we'll move Ryan down by 1, and we will check for an error on Joe Rudi, which he made none. So it's simply going to be a leadoff single for Disco Dan as he dances down to first base. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Wilfong, who was also a sacrifice AA, so he's going to be bunting here. Runs could be at a premium in this game, so he's going to bunt. AA bunt rating. It's a 77. This could be problematic. 77, sacrifice AA, a 77. Double play, pop out the catcher who throws to lead base. So this is a double play. So he pops it up to the catcher, Humphreys, who makes the first out, and then Humphreys fires to first to get Ford, who was too far off the bag. And so that became a disastrous double play for the Twins. And we're 2 outs and bases empty. That's a third double play in a row. Three innings, 3 double plays turned by the Angels. It's a 5, so we are under Ryan. But it's a 12. So a 12 is a base hit to left, and that's going to move Ryan down to a 12. So a 2-out single by Weiniger, and that'll bring up Roy Smalley. Smalley grounded into one of those double plays last time. It's a 9. 9 means we are under Smalley's card. It's a 58. Roy Smalley, 58, is in the out range. So he's a switch hitter with normal power, but everybody grounds to second. Check for an error. There is none, and the inning is over. So Nolan Ryan's using the power of the double play to help him get out of the inning. He still only struck out 1 batter, which is very unusual. But after 2.5, we're still scoreless, and that'll bring up Bobby Grich to lead off for the Angels. Bobby Grich. It's a 7, which is under Goltz. It's a 41. Goltz 41 is a walk against right-handers. So Goltz draws a walk. That'll bring up Humphreys, the number 9 hitter. He again is a sacrifice AA. So here we go again with another sacrifice. Humphreys going to try to lay one down. It's a 52. And a 52 says batter out, third to first, runners advance. So that is a sacrifice. 5-3. And Grich will move to second base. So that time the sacrifice worked out well. And I think I forgot to move Goltz down to that walk on the last at bat. So there we go. He's down to where he needs to be. Here's Gil Flores, center fielder. It's a 3, which is under Goltz. And a 28. Goltz 28 is a strikeout. So Dave Goltz getting a big strikeout there to make it 2 away. And here's Jerry Remy with the runner in scoring position. It's a 3, and that's under Remy because Goltz against lefties is only a 4-7. So this is under Remy's card. It's an 85, though, so that's an out. Left-handed normal batter. Ground ball to short with the asterisk. Check for the error. There is none, and the inning is over. So we played 3 complete here in California, and it's the Twins nothing and the Angels nothing. And we'll be right back as we have to flip the deck and shuffle it. Rod Carew leads off the top of the 4th. Ironically, he is the only strikeout victim for Ryan in this game. It's a flip. It's a 6, so we're under Nolan Ryan. And the next flip's a 74. That's definitely in the out range. Left-handed power hitter for Carew. And he flies to deep right field for out number 1. Don't think of Carew as a power hitter necessarily, but they have him listed that way. He did hit 14 home runs on the season. So he had a little bit of power in this particular 77 season. Here's Lyman Bostock. It's an 8, so we're still under Ryan. It's a 36. 36 is a strikeout. 36 is a strikeout. 2 strikeouts for Nolan Ryan. His strikeout range against lefties is 16 to 46. So whenever we see a 16 to 46 and a lefty is batting, it is a strikeout. Here's Larry Heisel. It's a 3, so we're under Ryan. Ryan won't need the double play this time because he's gotten 2 quick outs. I'll lick my fingers here and see if I can get this cards apart. Here we go. It's a 62. A 62, and that's a potential pass ball. It says pass ball question mark. Now, the question is it a pass ball or not? It's not automatic. There's this pitch on the random fast action card. There's a word pitch that has either yes or no. If it says yes, then it's going to be a pass ball. If it's no, then we continue. So we're going to use the next fast action card and look at that word and see if it's yes or no. The flip is no, so there's no pass ball. So we just keep going, reboot, and Heisel will try again. It's a 7, so we're under Ryan again. And it is in 55. 55 is a walk versus right-handed pitching, or right-handed batters. So Heisel will draw a 2-out walk. And that will lower Nolan Ryan's reduction rating down to an 11. That'll bring up Rich Childs, the DH. It's a 5, so we're under Ryan. And a 35. 5-35, again, 16-46. It's a strikeout, so 35 is well within that range. It is a strikeout, and the inning is over. So we go to the bottom of the 4th, still no score, and Jerry Remy will take over as the leadoff batter in this inning. Remy, I'm sorry, he had the last out last inning, my bad. So it's actually Salida who's going to lead off, and Salida walked his first time up against Goltz. This one's a 6, which is under Goltz. And the random number is a 35. Goltz 35 against lefties is a walk. So Salida will walk again. He has walked both times. And that will reduce Goltz down to a 12. Here's Joe Rudi. He's not bunting. No worries there. 6, which is under Goltz. And a 71. 71 is in the out range. Right-handed power hitter that Rudi is. He will pop it up to the catcher. So he pops it up to Weiniger for out number 1. And that'll bring up Bobby Bonds. I'm sorry, it'll bring up, Bobby Bonds. Bobby Bonds had the cards backwards order here. So Bobby Bonds will step to the plate with 1 out and 1 on. It's a 4, so we're under Goltz. That hasn't changed. And the flip is a 67. 67 is an out. He's a right-handed power hitter. But everybody's going to ground out to second. It's a G4 with a asterisk. Check to make sure that second baseman Wilfong did not make an error, which he did not. So therefore it is a double play. 4-6-3. As the Twins give the Angels some of their own medicine with these double plays. And after 4 complete, we are still scoreless. Mike Cubbage to lead off the top of the 5th against Ryan. It's a BD, so we've got a chance for a batting clutch rating here. And against right-handers, anything 33 or less, he will have a clutch at bat. 34 or higher, he's going to be out. So let's see what happens here. It's a 26, so we got a clutch at bat. 26 is a home run. So Mike Cubbage, a home run, thanks to the 26 on the random number. So Mike Cubbage has just taken Nolan Ryan deep. Kind of surprising, I bet. There's a home run, so we're going to reduce Ryan 1 for the hit and 1 for the run as the Twins take a quick 1-0 lead here to start the 5th. And here's Disco Dan. Now we got a clutch defensive check, and that's going to be on the pitcher, Nolan Ryan. Clutch defense for Ryan, he is a 3, clutch defensive 3, so we'll do a random number to see if that comes into play or not. It's a 72, that's way too high, so we're going to have a reboot. Dan Ford will try again. It's an 8, so we're under Ryan. And the next flip is a 54. Ryan 54 against a righty is another walk. So Ryan maybe shook up a little bit by that home run. Gets a little wild. Walks Disco Dan, and he will dance down to first. We'll move Ryan down to an 8, and that'll bring up Rob Wilfong, the second baseman. And he's a double A bunter, so they're going to sacrifice again. Remember, he popped into a double play his first time trying this, but he's going to try it again. Into the 51. 51 says batter out, third to first, runners advance. So the sacrifice was successful. 5-3 on the sacrifice, and Ford moves up to second base to get in scoring position for leadoff hitter Butch Weiniger. It's an 8, so we're still under Ryan. It's a 44. Ryan 44. That's going to find a strikeout. So Nolan Ryan just struck out Weiniger for a big out for out number 2. And that brings up Roy Smalley to 4. So we are under Ryan to 56. 4 and a 56 is going to be a walk. So again, Ryan with a little control issues here has walked the bases loaded now. I'm sorry, put runners at first and second. Put runners at first and second, my bad. It's first and second, not bases loaded. So it's a 7. He's down to a 7. But now 2 on, 2 out for Carew. And Carew is 0 for 2, so he's due for a hit. 8 is still under Ryan. 88 is an out. Now, if we weren't doing left-right splits, that would have been a base hit, but the cards are already designed for the left-rights, so we're not using that. 88 is an out. Ground ball to first with an asterisk. Make sure Salida makes the play, and he does. And the inning's over, but the Twins, thanks to the home run by Mike Cubbage, take a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th, and the Angels see if they can't answer Dave Chalk, the leadoff hitter. It's an 8, so we're under Chalk. And Chalk, a 25. 25 against a right-hander is a base hit to right field. We will check for an error. There is none, but it is a base hit by Chalk. So it's down to an 11 for Goltz on his reduction. But Chalk is the leadoff hitter aboard. And that'll bring up Willie Aikens. Willie Mays Aikens. It's a 9, so we're R under Aikens. So Aikens gets a shot here off his own card. We got a blank, so we'll have to redo. Aikens, a 16. 16 is a base hit to right. We'll check for an error again on the right fielder forward. There is none. It's a single to right field. Now the question is, does Chalk go to third, or does he stay at second? Chalk is an OBRC, which is not very good, so he's going to hold and leave 2 on and nobody out for Bobby Grich. So 2 on, nobody out, and Goltz is down to a 10. All right, here is Rudi. I'm sorry, here is Bobby Grich. It's a 4, so we're under Goltz. It's a 34. Goltz 34 is a strikeout. So Goltz picking up a big strikeout there. And now we'll go to the number 9 hitter, Terry Humphrey, catcher. Humphrey, a 4, which is under Goltz. And a 41. Goltz 41 is a walk. So Goltz has now walked the number 9 hitter, Humphrey, and that will load the bases for the leadoff hitter, Gil Flores. And now he's down to a 9 on reduction. So now we've got Gil Flores, center fielder. He's 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout. It's a 10, so we're under Flores' card. And it's a 27. 27 for Flores is a double to left field. So a double to left field, we'll check the Heisel to make sure he didn't make an error. He did not. But it's a double to left field for Flores. That will plate 2 runs as Chalk and Aikens score. And the Angels take a 2-1 lead. Humphrey, a slow runner, is going to stop at third, especially since there's only 1 out. But the Angels grab the lead back 2-1. And here's Jerry Remy. And we'll move Goltz down 1 for the hit and 2 for the runs. So he could be short-lived here. Jerry Remy stepping to the plate. Infield is in for the Twins. They can't afford to give up any more runs. 7 is under Goltz. And the next flip is a 26 against lefties. 26 against lefties is a strikeout. So a big strikeout for Dave Goltz to create out number 2. And now they can play the infield at normal depth for the next batter, Tony Salaita. So Tony Salaita, who has walked twice, will come up. It's a 4, so we're under Goltz. The next flip's an 82. That's an out. And for Salida, who is a left-handed power hitter, he will ground it to short, but there is an asterisk, so we need to check Roy Smalley. It's error 10. Smalley has nowhere near that high of an error rating, so he will make the play. But the Angels pick up 2 runs, and at the end of 5, it is California 2 and Minnesota 1. Lyman Bostock to start the top of the 6th. Maybe Ryan got some re-energizing from that run support. Get a 5, which is under Ryan. And we get a 78. 78 is well within the out range. Left-handed power hitter, ground ball to third with an asterisk. So we check third baseman Chalk to make sure there's no error, and there is none. Simply a 5-3 ground out for one away. And that'll bring up power hitting left fielder Larry Heisel. It's a 7, so we're under Ryan. It's an 18. That's going to be a base hit. 18 is a base hit to right, so we're going to move Ryan down to a 6. And it's a 1-out single for Heisel, as that brings up designated hitter Rich Childs, a lefty. It's a 5, so we're still under Ryan. And it's 25. 25 against the lefty is a strikeout. Falling in that 16 to 46 category. He gets the strikeout, 2 outs, and now it's Cubbage, who hit that home run against him last time. It's a 9, so Cubbage is on his own card. But it's a 56, which is in the out range for Cubbage. He is a left-handed normal power hitter. So he hits a fly ball to deep right field, but it wasn't quite deep enough. Bonds makes the play, and the inning is over. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, still 2-1 in favor of the Angels. And Joe Rudi steps in against Goltz. It's a 12, so we're under Rudi. And it's a 55. Rudi 55 will be a walk. So Joe Rudi leads off with a walk. Walks seem to be prevalent in this game. Here's Bobby Bonds. It's a 2, and we'll move Goltz down to a 5 before I forget. So Goltz got the 2 results, so it's off his own card. And it's a 67, which is in the out range. Right-handed power hitter, Bobby Bonds. Fly ball to deep left field for 1 away. So Bonds got a hold of it, but not quite good enough. And there's 1 away for Dave Chalk. It's a 6, so we're under Goltz. Next flip's a 46. 46 is going to be a walk. Dave Goltz will walk. So yet again, another walk for Goltz. And the Twins bullpen is loosening. Tom Burgmaier, the left-hander, is now loosening in the Twins bullpen, as Goltz is down now to a 4 on his reduction rating. Here is Willie Aikens with 2 on and 1 out. Aikens an 8, which is under Aikens. So Aikens gets his own chance here. It's an 87, so that's going to be an out. Left-handed normal out is a pop-up to the shortstop. So he pops it up to Roy Smalley for out number 2. Not out of the woods yet. 2 on, 2 out for Bobby Grich, who's certainly capable of delivering in the clutch. Whoops. That is a 9, so we are under Grich. But it's an 81, so he's going to make an out. Right-handed power hitter, ground ball to short. Smalley gets another chance. There is an asterisk. Check for the error. There is none. And it's a 6-3 ground out to end the inning. So we completed 6 innings here in California with the score, the Angels 2 and the Twins 1. And it's that time again to shuffle the cards and flip them over and get a fresh start for the last 3 innings. All right, we are ready to go here for the top of the 7th. Disco Dan Ford will lead things off against Ryan. Flips a 6, so we are under Ryan's card. And the result is a 66. 66 is going to be just in the out range. Right-handed normal hitter Disco Dan will pop up to the catcher, Humphreys, for 1 away. And that brings up the number 9 hitter, Rob Wilfong. So Rob Wilfong steps in against Ryan. It's a Z, so we've got an unusual play result. That's a Z. Anytime you have a PBZ, you have to go to the unusual plays. So let's check and see what the unusual play might be. Next flip is an 86. That probably has to do with injuries. We'll take a peek here. The Z result, let's see here where our Z results are. Get my little table for that. The unusual play Z results. Here we go. Unusual play Z results. And the result was an 86. So it says here, well, it won't be an injury. Let's see here. 86 is the fielding table, so it won't be an injury. It'll be a fielding table. Difficult fly for catcher near stands. If CD 1 to 2, ball is not caught and remains out of play. If CD 3 or 4, catcher makes the play and the runners hold. Okay, so we're checking the defensive prowess of Terry Humphrey, the catcher. Terry Humphrey His CD rating is only a 2. So that means he did not make the play. The ball went into the stands, and we continue. So couldn't quite pull it in. So we'll go ahead and keep going. Here is Rob Wilfong again. It's a 7, which is under Ryan, and it's a 72, which is an out. Wilfong's a left-handed normal hitter. He flies to right for out number 2. And that brings up the leadoff hitter, Butch Weiniger. And Weiniger, if I can get the cards apart, Weiniger, an 8 is under Ryan. A 47 is a walk. So Ryan again, another walk, reduces him down to a 5. And that brings up Roy Smalley. It's a 9, so we are under Smalley. But it's a 61, and the 61's an out, left normal. Left normal is a ground ball back to Ryan, and he made the play. The inning's over. 7th inning stretch, I'm going to stretch with them. It is the Angels 2 and the Twins 1. All right, top of the 7th, Dave Galt's still hanging in there. He's still got a 4 on his reduction rating. Does have Tom Burgmaier, the lefty, warming in the bullpen in case he's needed. Number 9 hitter Terry Humphrey will lead off the bottom of the 7th. And the flip's a BD, so we got a clutch batting rating. Now, for Humphrey, that's not very high. It has to be a 21 or less, or else it's going to be a no play. It's a 28, so he does not get a clutch batting. We'll go on to another flip. A 6, which is under Galt's, so we'll check Galt's. 63, Galt's 63 is in the out range. And Humphrey, being a right-handed normal power hitter, will line to the shortstop. So Humphrey begins the bottom of the 7th by lining to Roy Smalley at short for 1 away. Humphrey is retired. Back to the top of the order, and Gil Flores. It's a 6, so we're under Galt's again. And the flip is a 15, so this time Galt's has given up a base hit to center field. Reduce him down to a 3 as Flores gets the base hit. And that's going to do it, I do believe. Gene Mauch has seen enough of Galt's, and with a couple of lefties coming up, he's going to make a switch to the bullpen. We'll be right back with the new Twins reliever, Tom Burgmaier. All right, we'll close the book on, well, we can't close the book on Dave Galt's because the runner's still at first, but as of now, 6 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, walked 6, struck out 3. Tom Burgmaier, the new pitcher, he is a relief reduction rating of 6. So he is on to face the lefty Jerry Remy. We've got a lefty-on-lefty matchup, 1 on, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. So, and the PB rating for Burgmaier is only 2 to 5, so not very good. We'll see if he can get around that. Remy, the flip is a clutch defense, so we're going to check the clutch defensive rating of somebody. And that somebody is going to be the shortstop, Roy Smalley. Now, Roy Smalley has a clutch defensive rating of 4. He's a clutch defense 4. So we'll check our clutch defensive chart at shortstop, number 4. And here it is. And so anything 42 or less will be a clutch defensive check. Anything 43 and higher will be a return to normal play. It's a 16, so that is a clutch defensive check. We'll pull the table out. A 16. Great catch of shallow fly, runners hold. So the 11 through 18 there. It's a pop-up to shallow left center, and Smalley went out and got it instead of letting it drop. So his clutch defense was able to make that play. There's 2 away now. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Tony Salida. Now, he is a lefty, and he doesn't hit very well against lefty pitching. So we're going to have a pinch hitter for Salida as, well, the California Angels had 2 managers this year, Norm Sherry and Dave Garcia. And this game from May 19th was probably Norm Sherry. So Sherry's going to pinch hit with Ron Jackson. So Ron Jackson is going to pinch hit for Salida and take over as the designated hitter. But that's because Salida was so poor against left-handed pitching. So Ron Jackson's going to step in the box against Burgmaier. The flip's a 9, so we are under Ron Jackson. The next flip's a 45. 45 for Ron Jackson against a lefty, unfortunately, is a strikeout. So for Ron Jackson, his pinch hitting performance did not pay off. And the inning's over, and we can close the book on Gulch, just allowing those 2 runs. And that was it. Now, for kicks and giggles, Tony Salida on a 45 would have also struck out. So either way you go, that would have been a strikeout with those 2 batters involved. We've played 7 complete. It's still 2-1 California. All right, Nolan Ryan's going to start the 8th. He's still got a 5 on his reduction rating. And he'll be facing the heart of the order, Carew, Bostock, and Heisel. So this is the inning for the Twins to do something if they can with the heart of the order coming up. Here's the flip. It's a 3, so we're under Nolan Ryan's card. It's a 48. 48 against lefties is a walk. So Rod Carew draws a leadoff walk. Carew with a leadoff walk. He did steal 15 bases. You wonder if they want to try a stolen base here down by 1, but with the heart of the order coming up. Let's see here. The California catcher, Terry Humphrey, in his throwing arm, he is a TA thrower, which is the best there is, so might be kind of risky to run here. So they're going to go ahead and let Bostock swing away. Here's the flip. It's a 7, so we're under Nolan Ryan. And it's a 61. 61 is another walk against lefties, so back-to-back walks. And now the Angels bullpen begins to stir as the back-to-back walks by Nolan Ryan. And I forgot to reduce him down to a 3 now with those 2 walks. So here's Larry Heisel. It's a 6, so we're under Ryan. He needs a strikeout. 52, will he get it? 52 is another walk, so he has walked the bases loaded. The bases are now loaded. And that may be all for Ryan. We'll wait and see. The designated hitter, Rich Childs, is next up. He's a lefty. And if they bring in a lefty, then the Twins would pinch hit as well. So they may go ahead and let Ryan pitch to Childs. He's kind of handled him pretty well today. So they're going to give Ryan one more batter against Childs. Bases loaded and nobody out. Infield at double plate depth to try to provide or avoid the big inning. It's a 3, so we're under Ryan. It's an 85. Well, that's going to be an out. And Childs is a left-handed normal batter. Left normal lines it to first. So he got the out without allowing a base runner to move up. That's a big out there. And Mike Cubbage, the batter. So Mike Cubbage steps to the plate. Ryan trying to pitch out of this. It's a 4, so we're still under Ryan. And it's a 48. 48 against a lefty is another walk. So he has walked in a run, and the score is now tied at 2-2. So Nolan Ryan, wheels coming off the bus here a little bit. And now Disco Dan Ford is coming up, and I believe that's going to be all for Mr. Ryan. He is down to a 1 on his reduction rating, and he's lost the strike zone for whatever reason. So Dyer Miller will be coming in to pitch for the Angels. Dyer Miller, his reduction rating as a reliever is a 6, so we'll move him up to a 6 here. Definitely can't close the book on Ryan because the bases are loaded. But Dyer Miller now will be facing Disco Dan Ford. Miller is a 4-7 PB rating against righties and a 2-5 against lefties. So let's see what he does here against Disco Dan. It's an 11, so we're under Dan Ford. And the flip's a 21. Dan Ford, 21 against a righty is a double to right field. So Dan Ford doubles to right. We'll check for an error. There is none. But Disco Dan just clubbed a double. That will score Bostock and Heisel. Cubbage will stop at third as there's only 1 out. And the Twins now have grabbed a 4-2 lead. So we'll reduce 1 for the hit and 2 for the runs allowed. And Dyer Miller is in dire straits right now. In fact, with Rob Wilfong coming up, they could go to a lefty, but then the Twins might pinch hit, so we'll go ahead and stick with it. Here is the flip. It's a 7, so we are under Wilfong. It's a 73, so Wilfong will be an out. He's a left-handed normal batter. Ground ball to third with an asterisk, so we'll check for an error. 6-10 is the error, but I don't believe that Chalk has an error rating quite that high. We'll look it up here real quickly. Chalk has an E rating of 5, and this is 6-10, so he just did make it. So he will make the play, and with the runner at second, he will have to hold. It's 2 away, and we're back to the top of the order and Butch Weiniger. So Weiniger steps in against Dyer Miller. It's a 6, so we are under Weiniger. It's a 22, so Weiniger 22 is a base hit to right field. Base hit to right field. We will need to check for an error, again, by the right fielder Bonds, and there is none. Now we need to calculate whether the runner is going to score or not. But first we'll move Dyer Miller down 1 for the hit, and we may get 1 more for the run. Disco Dan Ford runs, his running ability is OBR is a B. So OBR is a B, and the base hit was to right field. But again, with 2 outs, you get that extra 20 points on your check there. Bonds is a T4. T4, and a B, I'm looking at this double, I should be up here. T4 and a B is 11 to 46. However, you add the 20, it's 11 to 66. So they're going to send Dan Ford. Anything under a 66, and he will be safe. It's a 23, he is safe. So the run does score. And the Twins tack on some more as they now send their 9th batter to the plate in Roy Smalley. As the run scored, Miller goes down to a 1. So here's Smalley, and the wheels have come off the bus for the Angels here in the 8th. It's an 11, so we're under Smalley. It's an 86, so that will be an out. He's a switch hitter batting lefty. Pops it up to second to end the inning. And so the Twins send 9 to the plate, and 4 of them cross. Check that, 5 of them cross. 5 of them cross. And so now it's a 6-2 ball game, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. All right, bottom of the 8th, and the Angels have their work cut out for them. We'll go ahead and close the book now on Ryan, the gory details on Ryan. 7 1/3 innings, only gave up 5 hits, but gave up 5 runs, 10 walks, count them, 10 walks and 5 strikeouts. Dyer Miller pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits and a run to close the scoring in the 8th to make it a 5-2 ball game rather. And Tom Burgmaier is in for his second inning of relief as he's trying to protect a 6-2 lead. Baylor Moore will be the new pitcher for the Angels in the top of the 9th. He has a reduction rating of 6. Right now, Joe Rudi's up to bat against Burgmaier as he tries to get the rally caps on for the Angels. Here's the flip. It's a 10, so we are under Rudi. And it's a 13. So Rudi, 13, base hit to left field. We'll check for an error. There is none. It reduced Burgmaier to a 5. And the Angels off to a good start here in the bottom of the 8th with a base hit by Joe Rudi. That brings up Bobby Bonds. It's a 10, so we're under Bobby Bonds. The flip is a 58 against lefties. 58 is a walk. So Bobby Bonds will walk. And now the Twins bullpen starts to get loose as they don't want to see this lead get away from them. Dave Chalk, the batter. It's a 6, so we are under Chalk because Burgmaier only goes 2 to 5. Chalk, of 84, though, will be an out. Now, he's a right-handed normal batter. And it's a G1, right back to Burgmaier. Burgmaier is an E3 rating, and there is no error. So let's check the... It should be a double play, I believe, because they were at double play depth, and it's a ground ball back to the pitcher with runners at first and second. Runners at first and second chart, a G1 infield back double play. Batter and runner on first are out. Runner on second goes to third. So it's a 1-4-3 double play. And the runner, Rudi, does go to third, but that kind of puts a kibosh on the rally, as now there are 2 outs and a runner at third base. For Willie Aikens, a lefty, now what they're going to do here is pinch hit for Aikens, and they'll use Don Baylor, the righty. So Aikens is going to be lifted with the lefty Burgmaier on the mound, and Don Baylor is going to come in. Don Baylor, and he'll take over at first base in the bottom of the 9th. Or top of the 9th, I should say. But he's going to pinch hit and play first base. So he's got a chance to bring home a run if possible. It's a 7, so he's on his own card. So Baylor's on his own card. But it's a 75, so he's going to make an out. Ground ball to short with an asterisk, so we checked to make sure Smalley did not make an error, and he did not. And Burgmaier pitches around the jam. And we go to the ninth with the score still holding, Twins 6 and Angels 2. Top of the ninth, Carew with his probable last at bat, you would think. He's going to be facing lefty Baylor Moore, so it's his first time facing a lefty in this game. Let's see what that affects Carew. Moore is a 2.9 against lefties for a PB rating, only 2.4 against righties, so you can see he had a profound difference. Lefties only hit 154 against him, righties hit 317. So Carew, being a lefty, is under this 2.9 category, and the 8 means we're under Baylor Moore. So Baylor Moore, it's a 23, and 23 is a strikeout. So he's going to strike out Carew, and that would have been a base hit had it been under Carew's card, but it's not. It's a strikeout. As Baylor Moore picks up the strikeout, he's going to face Lyman Bostock, another left-hander. It's a 7, so we're still under Baylor Moore. It's a 41. 41 this time, though, is going to be a walk. So yet another walk in this game, as Bostock will draw a walk. We'll move Baylor Moore down to a 5. And that'll bring up the right-handed hitting Larry Heisel. They're going to stick with Baylor Moore, being what the score is. It's a 4, so we're still under Baylor Moore because he is a PB 2-4. And the result is an 88, which is an out. And Heisel's a right-handed power hitter. He will ground to first, and that looks like a double play to me, and it is. No, the asterisk means no error when there's a none there, so it's a 3-6-3 double play turned by the Angels to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the ninth. Last chance for the Angels. It's the Twins 6 and the Angels 2. All right, new pitcher in the bottom of the ninth for the Twins is Schuler Burgmaier. His innings are complete. 1 2/3 innings of relief. Gave up just 1 hit, walked 1, struck out 1, nothing else. And Schuler's reduction rating for relieving is a 7, so he's placed on the 7. He'll be starting out facing Bobby Grich. And Grich now, Schuler's a 2.5 PB rating against righties and a 2.6 against lefties. It's a 9, so we are into Grich. It's a 37. Grich against right-handers, a 37 is a strikeout. So Schuler with the strikeout. 1 away, and we've got Terry Humphrey, the catcher, coming up, but he's going to be called back for a pinch hitter. So let's see what kind of lefty pinch hitting they might have on their bench. And it looks like they're going to go to, let's see who they want to use here. Perusing the bench. We're going to go to Rance Mullenix. So Rance Mullenix. Actually, no, we're not going to use Rance Mullenix because he made his debut on June 18th, so he was not on the roster. So that would not be copacetic. So let's see who they've got left here. They're kind of narrowing down our choices. Let's see here. Looks like they're going to use Bruce Bhakti. So Bruce Bhakti, the lefty. Bruce Bhakti steps to the plate as the pinch hitter. Bhakti will pinch hit for Humphrey. Try to get something going here in the ninth against Schuler. Bhakti a lefty. Here's the flip. It's a 10, so we're under Bhakti. And it's an 84, so he's going to make an out. He's a left-handed normal, and it's a fly ball to center field. Out number 2. So the pinch hitting in this game has not come through very well for either club. And that'll bring up Gil Flores. Gil Flores steps to the plate. Last chance. It's a 7, so we are under Flores. It's a 28. Flores 28. It's going to be a double to center field. We'll check an error for Bostock if he made one. He did not. But the Angels are not going to go away quietly just yet. We'll move Schuler down to a 6. It's a runner on second base and 2 outs for Jerry Remy. So Jerry Remy, a 9, so we are under Remy. It's a 54. That's, however, going to be an out, so unless there's an error, the game was going to be over. Left normal, so pop up to second, and the ball game is over. So the Twins come back against Nolan Ryan, who got a fit of wildness, and they come back to win it by the score of 6-2. We'll be right back with the totals. Okay, we'll wrap things up here, and the Twins with a 6-2 victory. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They left 7 on base. For the Angels, 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. They left 8 on base. Winning pitcher was Tom Burgmaier in relief because he was in relief when the Twins scored those 8 runs. Losing pitcher Nolan Ryan with those uncharacteristically wild 10 walks, including 4 in the 8th inning. So he'd gotten around those walks earlier in the game, spreading them out, but when you get 4 in 1 inning, that kind of does you in. And then Disco Dan Ford, that big double that really broke the game open. So that's it from here. Status Pro, the 77 season of Rod Carew, who hit .388 that year. Unfortunately, this game, he was 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts and a walk, so he didn't really represent too well. Of course, he was facing Nolan Ryan, so that's just the way it goes. It's just a one single game, so you can't really judge anything by that. But that's going to do it from here. Hope everybody has a wonderful time playing whatever game you choose to play, and we'll see everybody down the road.